All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are joining me. I am Jeanette the Oracle, founder and CEO of Innerson Alchemy. And what I do is help people to reclaim their soul and economic sovereignty, as well as creative sovereignty, because I am a creative as well. And I do that through providing spiritual guidance and programs and private coaching to train you on intermediate to advanced ways of applying spiritual tools and technologies, metaphysical frameworks, methodologies to your life, to your business in such a way that you can truly be living in the fullest expression of your soul as much as possible at this time, and be staying in conscious alignment with your divine purpose. So, with that being said, I am here on the eve, I believe, a few days eve of the new moon in Gemini. So I'm sure there will be some Gemini messages coming through, but the intention for this session today is to provide guidance for the month of June. Also, as a heads up, I am currently enrolling for my small group coaching program called Sovereign, which is for entrepreneurs, and it's specifically designed to help entrepreneurs do business differently. Do business differently than in a way that the capitalistic models have us do it, which is one that exploits our own labor, that has us going for growth at any and all costs, including ourselves and our humanity and our health. And it teaches you ways to really bring your business into alignment with your purpose, with your divine assignment, how to develop strategy, things to look at, practical, application steps to go through in order to help you to build a sustainable business that actually is something that you can do, that you can grow sustainably, that fits your lifestyle, more importantly, and helps you build wealth. And this is especially important for women entrepreneurs, especially Black women entrepreneurs, because while we, especially over the last few years with the pandemic, have been starting businesses at an astronomical rate, faster than any other group has. We also are still struggling the most and making the least amount of money through our businesses. So this type of work is really important. And one of the things I've been noticing, especially this year, and it was starting actually last year, is a lot of, in particular, women entrepreneurs being very successful, deciding to or needing to take a sabbatical or completely shut down their businesses because they're completely overwhelmed and burned out. And in my opinion, that is completely avoidable. And I want to really drive home the fact that that does not have to be your experience. You can actually have a different experience. You don't have to build something that essentially is a golden prison for you, right? Like you can have something better and different. And that, among many things, is a lot of what is covered in Sovereign. Again, the frameworks, the ideologies, as well as practical steps to take that cover all the really important basics for your business. So if you want to learn more, you can check that information in the description box of this video. Go to my website, innersonalchemy.com. Click on group programs. You'll see the tab there for Sovereign, and you can learn more and apply there. This will be the last cohort of 2023 that I will be doing. So don't let this pass you by, because I don't plan on offering this again until sometime next year. And I don't know the timing of that because I do have plans for other stuff. So in my personal life, not for business. So just a heads up on that. But anyway, how's everybody doing? As you come in, you know how we roll. Say hello, tell us your name, where you're joining from, what, if anything, you might be sipping on or eating on. And yeah, if you also want to share how you're doing, what's going on in life right now, feel free to do so. I'm joining you from not as sunny California right now. We have our June gloom time. So while the sun is not out in its full force, I'm still very much grateful for it because it's still nice and cool. Summers here can get pretty intense. So last year was like especially intense. So because I remember how bad last year was, I'm very grateful right now for June gloom, so to speak, because it's keeping things pretty chill. We'll see how things shift if they do coming up in July. But also, if you do not know, if you're new to me, because I know I have new folks, July is actually birthday month for your girl. I am a Cancer sun sign, and I celebrate the entire month. So if you join my newsletter, I will actually be sharing different ways that you can donate to me if you'd like to get me some gifts. I'm also starting to put together a wish list as well if you want to actually send me an item. And I'll probably send that out at the beginning of July with that info if you'd like to celebrate with me. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. There's also a lot happening astrologically, so there's just a lot of newness and a lot of beautiful energy that I'm grateful for. I'm stepping into. Hello, Soul Fam. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. So for this topic, I was sitting with Spirit about what the message was really needed to be today. And I was thinking, of course, about the new moon because the new moon in Gemini is happening soon. Also, side note, if you, have not read or need to review, I do publish a monthly astrology report that gives both personal and entrepreneur guidance for the main planetary transits that occur, so that you can use that to support your efforts for the month ahead in your personal development, as well as helping your business grow or how to navigate that. So you can check that out on my website, andersonalchemy.com. Go to the blog page, and there you will see the most recent forecast, that one for June. So yeah, we do have the new moon in Gemini, and I have a message written about that. Thank you. Listen, technology be doing its thing. I love it. But yeah, as I was sitting with Spirit about what the message was going to be today, or at least the topic that we'll be sitting with, was around the environment, and specifically the environments that we put ourselves in. So not nature environment, but our, if you will, community environments, professional, personal, etc. As well as the personal includes the spiritual. So whenever I say spiritual or personal, I use them interchangeably, but I'll try to be a little bit more defined at this time. So the reason why this is coming up is because on the one hand, one of the things that I consider to be extremely important, and I highlight this in particular in the Lightworker Incubator, is the importance, Lightworker Incubator and Sovereign, and for all my clients, the importance of building up, strengthening relationship with, and expanding your spiritual team. So the support system that you have in the non-physical realms that help you with guidance, with healing, with protection, etc. Right? Like, it's really important to build that up because we have a lot of support, and many of us, most of us, do not leverage that as much as we could to help us and support us in this life. And it's important in particular because so much is not able to, we're not able to get a lot of what we need with people here, especially when we were growing up. While the world is rapidly changing, there has also, of course, been a lot of trauma that we experienced as we grew up, as we developed, because the knowledge and expertise and the healing and the new insights, came later in life, and they weren't necessarily there, for use by our parents, by our, religious leaders, by our friends, etc. So, hindsight is 2020, right? if we had the knowledge and the support and all the things that we have at this time, say 30, 40 years ago, how different we would be, of course. So with that being said, when you have and work with your elevated beneficial ancestors, spirit guides, masters, protectors, or whatever, they're already operating from a whole place, from a loving place, from a empowered place. So, you don't really have to have concerns about the intention and the impact of their guidance and their walk with you. You still, of course, have to be discerning and decide what it is that you are going to follow or choose to take on potentially in terms of advice that you might get from them or what have you, because that's your will, right? Everything is always going to be a suggestion and guidance based off of their perspective. So you still have to have agency in what you choose to accept and walk with. But there is a lot of support and safe support and help there, which is not necessarily the case. At least here, we have to be just as conscientious, if not a little bit more, and put a little bit more effort into building relationships here in the human world that really provide an environment for us to thrive. So that essentially is going to be what we'll be sitting with today. The both and. So you may be someone who has a very strong relationship with your spiritual care team, as I like to call it, but maybe struggling here in your human life, in the physical world, really, with developing relationships with new people that would be, new friends, new professional folks, new whatever that are aligned with um, really helping you express and show your authentic self. Like that may be truly a struggle. And often I find, when I'm talking with clients or in group sessions, this thing about like feeling alone, not being able to find your people, your tribe, or what have you, like that stuff very much comes up. But a lot of those same skills of building and developing relationships in the spirit also are going to hold true in the physical, right? So we'll see what message Spirit has from us. I'm going to be pulling an oracle card from the Threads of Fate deck. Right here, Threads of Fate. And we'll see what message Spirit has for us. Let me know in the comments if this topic resonates with you. Now, I know I was talking about like, some folks will have a stronger spiritual team and then have like a harder time having the community or various communities in the physical, but it might be the opposite for you. It might be easy for you to develop connections with folks here in the physical, but you feel kind of distant or possibly distrustful of the non-physical. So we'll see. We shall see. So as I'm shuffling these oracle cards, please take a few moments to take some deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you want, sit up nice and tall, and really tune into your own spirit, your own breath. Whenever I come for spiritual talks, oracle talks, it is always spirit counsel. So I'm speaking to a common message of our collective experience and providing guidance and messages to help us all on that journey. So please remember that we are co-creating this experience. Also, if you wouldn't mind, if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. Please also like this video. Of course, leave a comment and share. That helps to spread this in the YouTube ecosystem. It's greatly appreciated. And if you would like to donate for the exchange, the information for donations are on the banner that's scrolling there on PayPal. Ooh. Okay. First time getting this card. I love it. We got the card Manifest. Let's give a second to show this. We got the card Manifest. Beautiful card. Let's see. I lean more towards distance with spiritual guides versus people. Awesome. Bottom of the deck is also boundaries, which are actually really important in the manifest energy. But I think I'm actually going to read both. But let me read the message for manifest. Spirit has definitely been speaking to me about this a bit. About what we create for ourselves, how our actions, the actions that we take now, impact and have consequences for what we experience later, positive, neutral, and negative. So it's kind of like we're always, whether we're aware of it or not, we're always creating the container or the environment that we are stepping into. But let's see what this card says, this oracle card. This card signals a period of time where your manifestation, where your manifestation work would be extra potent. Let me read that again. Let me get this to a point where I want you to be able to see the gold on here. Put it there. Does not want to let me live. Maybe there. Okay. All right. So this card signals a period of time where your manifestation work would be extra potent. What you have been working toward is on its way to you. If you feel anxious or obsessive, it is time to release it and let the universe work some magic. When we are working on manifesting, it is important that we do the following. We must be clear on what we want, not what we don't want. We imagine and visualize ourselves experiencing it. This means tapping into the feelings we would have if we did have it. After we have focused on it long enough, we must release it so it can be manifested. This card asks you to examine your process. Are you lacking clarity in your desires? Are you sending the universe mixed signals by focusing on what you don't want or what you lack? Are you too focused? Reflect on how you show up for your manifesting practice and make adjustments that need to be made. The animal, which is actually dead here, interesting. Oh, hello, welcome, Aisha. We got UK in the house. Yes, get some water. So this is called the wisent, also known as the European bison. This is considered a keystone species, which means its entire ecosystem depends on it for stability. Let's see. I literally just lost the card. Okay. Everything the bison does, from walking to eating to dying, has a profound impact on its environment. Wasn't I just talking about environment? Hello, hello. We got more family in the house. Wherever bison are found, the land, animals, and humans have depended on it as an imperative part of life. When it comes to abundance and manifesting, the wisent teaches us about the interconnectedness between all things, that all things are of use. Even the things that may go unnoticed have tremendous power. For example, the wisent is critical in pioneer plants taking root simply by the way it rolls in the dirt and sand. If we were to witness the bison rolling in the ground, we most likely wouldn't think it is helping plants proliferate. It is the same much with our work. Tiny things can add up to big results. You're drinking wine in afternoon with my newborn exhausting me. Understandable. All right, the plant ally for this card is mullein. Mullein rises out of its large velvety leaves, often reaching up to 6 feet tall. If you look at it from a few feet away, it can look like a rocket just after launching. Throughout history, mullein has been used as a torch. Energetically, it can support us the same way. It lights a path for us in our manifesting work. It finds the gateways and the openings that we need. And then lastly, the crystal is pyrite. So pyrite's nickname is fool's gold, but those that work with gemstones understand there's nothing foolish about it. While it may not be as valuable as gold, it can certainly support you in manifesting some. When we have our sights set on something, it is important that we take action. We cannot simply hope that the universe provides it for us. We must show up and do the work. Pyrite removes blockages and cultivates a go-getter attitude, allowing us to feel worthy of what we are manifesting. I love that. I like that this note about taking action is showing up here on this manifesting card because while yes, we have to be clear on what we want and what we don't want, and visualize, imagine ourselves having a thing, we also have to take the actions, and that is part of what comes down to, sending quote unquote mixed signals to the universe. Is, if you are wanting a thing or wanting to work towards something, and then you're not actually taking the action that is associated with doing that thing to help move you forward towards that, then all you're really doing is just daydreaming. Daydreaming is its own power and it's good, but like the message here just said with the pyrite, the universe isn't just going to drop that in your lap. like you have to actually do some work. I do want to read this card on boundaries because I feel like this is something that we need, and I believe this is an air card. So the message for this oracle card is boundaries can be a difficult thing to master. Most people are not raised with a firm understanding of healthy boundaries and either end up being closed off or allow themselves to be invaded, or they become invading of others. So it's either or. You are being invaded or you invade others. It requires balance and knowing exactly what your needs are. This card asks you to check in with yourself and see where you live on the boundary spectrum. Do you have a healthy relationship with them? Do you struggle in communicating around them? Are there any patterns that continue to crop up around boundaries in your life? Now, one thing I'll say real quick with this is that boundaries are for you, right? They really determine what you do what you choose to do or choose not to do based off of what's best for you. So the reason why that's important, understanding that, is that's where your power lies, right? Because you can't change other people. Obviously, of course, you can express yourself and again say what you do or do not like. And based off of their behavior, if they're aligning with that or not, you still have to hold the boundary with yourself and decide how you're going to choose to show up or not based off of what's important for you. So boundaries is about you. So the animal is the armadillo. So the armadillo name means little armored one, and it's known for its hard armor. Its potent medicine is teaching us how to set a container, right? Set a container for our desired or not desired experiences. So again, this container thing, this environment thing. If we already have an idea of what we do not want in our life, we can set boundaries to prevent it from entering. The underside of the armadillo is soft and vulnerable, which is how we should always go through life, open-hearted and vulnerable, but able to protect ourselves if needed. Call upon armadillo to find this balance. The plant is yarrow. So this is named after the Greek hero Achilles. The myth is that Achilles was made invulnerable because yarrow was floating in a river his mother dipped him in as a child. Yarrow has long been referred to as an herb of invulnerability. It can teach us healthy boundaries, but it's especially helpful as an ally for those that are sensitive to other people's energies. Call on it if you need support in protecting yourself from unconsciously absorbing absorbing energies from other people or your environment. And then lastly, black tourmaline. This is a protector, grounder, and cleanser all in one. It is known to transform dense energy into a lighter vibration, ground spiritual energy, and can be used to form a protective shield around your body. Some people may have opinions about any changes you make. And if you're working on being more open, others may take advantage of that openness. Use black tourmaline to cleanse and protect you from unwanted energies from those around you. You can also use black tourmaline to aid you in maintaining the boundaries you have already set. I love that. I also did that because I literally have a piece of black tourmaline right here next to me. This is definitely a must for those of you like myself who are HSPs, highly sensitive people, or empaths, whatever terminology you like to use. It's really good for just keeping yourself grounded and balanced, etc. So yeah, this is interesting. What was coming through for me about this message around environments, and then we got the manifest and the boundaries cards. So I think this all really does tie together. Let me actually pull. Let me know and how this is resonating with folks who are here watching in the comments. So with manifestation being the primary thing, coupled with the environment, really being conscientious about what environments you are putting yourself in order to support your ability to manifest your desires. Are you putting yourselves in environments, again, people, places, situations where, groups of people, places, or situations where you're having to fight really hard just to be your authentic self? Or are you putting yourself in places where you are being encouraged, you're being asked to grow and step out, to stretch beyond your comfort zone, where you're being asked to develop and grow more of your skills, where you are in an environment where people are doing similar work, and or are farther along, have more experience than you do in the particular thing? Those are important. For your home environment, do you have your home set up in a way that supports the positive meaning, those align with what you want to manifest, behaviors and aspects of life? You know, if you're wanting to improve your health and wellness, if you're wanting to improve anything at home, is that being mirrored with how you have your home set up? Or are you subconsciously setting up your environment in such a way that it makes you have to fight in your own home to maintain focus on what it is that you want to create, right? And these are things that are fully within your power to control. And of course, if you live with other people, you control what you are able to within that space. So 2 of Cups, 4 of Swords, 9 of Cups, 7 of Swords, with 10 of Wands as the spirit message here. Yeah, so 2 of Cups, 4 of Swords. This is talking about, again, you lining up. 2 of Cups is you being aligned with what is for you. And what is for you are the things that you desire and that you are striving for, right? Especially if they've been there in your spirit, in your mind, in your heart for a while, things that you're constantly working on, like that's for you. That's your work in this life. 4 of Swords in particular, this usually is a card that's associated with like rest, taking a break, chilling out. But what people also don't understand with this card, it also represents strategy. It's strategy. Thinking about what needs to happen, what needs to be in place, what actions you need to take to support this 2 of Swords development in your life. Because obviously, With the Nine of Cups being here, that's the past energy. We're already clear about what it is that we want in life we want to create. And so essentially, we get a chance right now to do an audit, not in a way of judging, but to really just have a moment and a time to check in. Perfect time as well, because June is right before we get into summer season. So it's always a good time to do this audit and to see, is what I'm doing, is the environment I have set up, are the situations that I'm putting myself in supporting the spiritual growth that I want to have for myself, the mental strength and resiliency, the emotional health and well-being, my physical health and well-being, my sleep schedule, my friendships and my romantic partnerships, my professional goals, my creative goals, my business goals, whatever it is, doing an audit on that and seeing if that is aligning with helping you to stay on track with manifesting what you want. And of course, the things that you're already consistent on or doing, like you just keep doing that. But you will, because we're human, you will find places where you're like, I actually need to be more intentional about what needs to be happening, what actions need to be taken, what places or spaces I need to put myself in to help me with this. Again, I say this ad nauseum. Oh, hello, welcome. I say this ad nauseum. Our success is collective. Please understand and remind yourself constantly, you do not create your life in isolation. The you that you are, your personality, your dreams, your goals, etc., they are a result of the relationship between your spirit and the outside world. That's your personality. Your personality is the not interference, interesting slip, but it's the result of the relationship between the nature of your non-physical self, your spirit, and the world, and the personality structure that develops around that. All right. You don't create you in isolation, though. There is no knowing of self, identification of self without other. That's the first step of understanding. The second step of understanding is then, as a consequence, everything that you desire and want to build for yourself is going to be connected in relationship to other people or just other things. So other things could be like new spiritual practices, new exercise practices, new whatever, right? It's still an other. It could be new people to be in a relationship with or to deepen relationships with. It could be new groups to be a part of. It could be new companies to go work for. It could be new skills that you develop. But there's always a relationship with something other. And the more you want in terms of scale and impact on other people, because we can want a lot of things for ourselves that don't necessarily like directly impact others, but I'm talking bigger goals. So, if you want to write a book, like obviously that will impact people because people are going to read it, right? If you want to start a business, that will impact people because you may potentially be employing others. People will be buying your products and services, what have you, right? Like, quote unquote, larger scale, larger impact things. The more you want in that regard, the more that's going to be required to help you do this Two of Cups effectively. You're going to need more support, right? Because it's a lot to manage. Received, resonating. I started doing an audit last week. Nice. Beautiful. I'm glad this is resonating for folks. But yeah, you don't do these things in isolation. It's necessarily going to be connected to other people, whether directly or indirectly, or just other, whether directly or indirectly. So this strategy piece, this Four of Swords, is important. And again, there may not be much you have to change, but there probably will be things where you can tell, even in the slightest ways, where you might be trying to overdo it, because that would be the Seven of Swords. In some ways, it can be over strategizing, where um, so Spirit downloaded this for me a couple days ago, which I really loved. When you find yourself having an emotional response to something and end up going back on a decision that you've made because of the emotions. And so Spirit dropped this question in that can kind of help prevent that knee jerk reaction based on the emotion, and to basically stop and say, have I already made a decision about this thing? Right? Whether it's positive, negative, neutral situation, an emotion comes up and you're like, okay, I have to do this thing. And there's this like rush or anxiety or thing of like, I have to do this. Unless it's actually an emergency, you don't have to do anything in the moment. You always got to like catch yourself with that. You can ask yourself, especially if it's something that you've been working on for a while, or that has been an interest for a while, or needing to be focused on for a while, stop and ask, have I already made a decision about this thing? And often you'll find you probably already have. And if so, then you get to say, okay, is what's coming up right now actually providing new information or a change in circumstances that would affect the decision that I already made to the point where it needs to be changed? If that is a yes, then you make changes. If it's a no, then you know, okay, there's just something emotionally coming up. I really just need to sit with this. No judgment, but just sit with it and reaffirm that you make good decisions. You already made a decision about that, and the decision that you made is good, and you're going to stick with it. That'd be an example of kind of combating the over strategizing that the Seven of Swords can talk about. Now, the other side of the Seven of Swords is where you are engaging in little white lies to yourself, where you're not wanting to admit to yourself ways that you are actually not doing what you need to be doing. Again, not a judgment thing, but really like if you take a step back and look at if you are intentionally moving things along to help you line up with what you want to manifest, objectively, you would see that you're not doing that. Whatever it is, whether it is, again, developing a new skill, whether that is looking for a new job because you want to be able to make more money and you realize that the job that you're at, you're kind of capped out and you need to transition to something else or somewhere else because of a better opportunity. And you are just not choosing to do it because you don't want to leave that sense of safety, right? This could be like complaining about being tired, overwhelmed, not happy with how you are feeling, but also at the same time, not actually being intentional and consistent with taking care of yourself in the way that you know you need, not how other people need, but how you know you need. Because you might have a belief or be feeling a certain kind of way based off of how much is actually required for you to be at your best, right? Whatever that's going to be. So, the Seven of Swords can go either way. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, it's going to be a mix of that for both when you do your audit. No, listen. But again, the manifest, like we are constantly manifesting whether we realize it or not. And really what this is for me saying, because I feel like, again, the manifest word is just kind of non-tangible for folks. The actions that you take in all ways and always are creating the path, creating the environment, creating the container that you are stepping into, that you are walking. always. While we do not have control over the timing of things, we do have control over whether or not we get in our own way. I'm auditing the little lies. I love that. The little lies. Yeah. That's very much Seven of Swords energy, the little lies. Or again, the over strategizing. If you've already done the work, you've already made the decision, you've already set up the strategy, do you keep tinkering with the success just because you're impatient on the timing? Does something actually need to change based off of the data that you have and the environment? Or do you just need to stick with what you have going on? Right? Because also, again, the bigger the manifestation dream or goal that you have, the longer it takes in terms of time to bring that thing into physical form because more people are involved. So something taking a long time does not mean that there's not necessarily something wrong with you, there's something wrong with the dream or what have you. But again, the bigger the thing is, the more people are involved. So the free will choice, the circumstances involving their life, sometimes they might have to be shifted out of position and somebody else come in. Like there's so much that you actually truly don't have control over. And one of the things that we have to be mindful of in this walk is to not make ourselves the villain or the cause for something not showing up in the way that we would like if we know and we're clear that as we do this audit, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing and we're staying consistent. Right? All right, let me see if there's any other messages I want to get into. And we're going to close out. Again, welcome to new folks coming in. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like the video, comment, and share. If you're allowed to donate to support the exchange of energy, the information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Again, I'm currently enrolling for Sovereign, my small group coaching program for entrepreneurs. It is a spirit-based, non-capitalistic approach to doing business differently. So you can learn more and apply at the link down in the description below. Let's see. So one of the things that you'll notice as you do this work is that you actually start getting a lot of opportunities come to you. So I call this like the buffet table. It's like that Seven of Cups energy. There's always a lot that's presented. You may actually find that that speeds up at this time as you all are doing this strategizing and this auditing and aligning your actions and staying consistent with what it is that you want based off of where you are, right? Like this is not about skipping steps or pushing ahead beyond what's actually practical, but for what is available for you here and now, doing those things, right? So you will be noticing, if you haven't already, a lot of opportunities coming up that is I almost want to say that's in response to you doing this work, but to be honest, I think it's a mixed bag. So some stuff has pretty much always been there, and other things are actually new. New meaning not necessarily new in your life, but they're actually new in existence. So there will be a mix. But regardless, all of the options and opportunities that are popping up are going to pop up in all of the environments that you've cultivated for yourself. Now, this is not to say that all of the options that come up are things that you need to say yes to. This is where the discernment piece comes in about what it is that you want to manifest, what you really are desiring. If you have a history of putting some things on the back burner or like going strong with something and then like backing off completely, it's just been dragging on like that for years and years. This is asking you to actually like double down and to stop doing that back and forth because the opportunities are there. And also, if there is a fear or a concern or worry with this Ten of Wands that you can't handle it, that it's going to be too much, that it's going to take too much effort, too much energy, that is a lie. You are fully capable of what it is that you want and desire. If you weren't, it wouldn't be there. That's first and foremost. And then, secondly, if you're worried about opportunities going away, while specific things may go away if you don't jump on them, that doesn't mean that that is the last and only time something similar will come up. So you can't use that, or at least try not to use that as a part of your decision making. Like, really, really be clear about this and how it feels in your body. And whatever is a clear yes, even if there is a little fear associated with it of like, oh my gosh, I know this is going to stretch me, meeting new people or doing this new thing or what have you. That little bit of fear is fine. Um, but it should feel like a clear yes. Then there's going to be things that you like mentally, you'll say to yourself, okay, this seems like it's good, or it seems like it's something I should be doing. You want to kind of watch out for that. And you definitely want to watch out for the stuff where it's just like, not really feeling it. But there actually will be enough of options showing up where you'll have all three of those experiences, right? Like, things are actually going to be showing up really quickly for all of us who are doing this work. Not as so this isn't showing up because we're being good spiritual people, but more so because doing this work makes us aware and perceptive of what's showing up and the opportunities that they actually are, rather than just noise that's kind of showing up and like passing us by that we're not actually catching. So we're going to start actually being able to perceive like, oh, all of this is available and I just haven't been catching it or missing it, or we're- I haven't been intentionally riding the wave as much as I could have, if I already have been, and not as much as I could have because I haven't been strategizing or doing this audit, right? So take advantage of what is showing up. And if you need help with that, lean on the crystal allies and those two cards, those two oracle cards, and that will help. But you know what? Honestly, I don't think this will be too tough for folks because this is Gemini season, and we also just have Mercury shift into Gemini. So I think it's going to be leaving soon. but that will help with this process. So let me get closing guidance. How's that resonating for folks? Great message. Great message. Nice. Queen of Swords with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups represents to me heaven and just all the support that's there in the spiritual care team. Queen of Swords can represent a lot of things like intuition, your higher self, your adult mind, right? She has both a sword as well as vulnerability showing here. So is that also the message of that armadillo? Important boundaries, but also openness and vulnerability. She's a very coordinated, calm, cool, collected person. She doesn't rely on emotions to make decisions on its own. She takes emotions as important feedback of what's going on more deeply, or how she really feels about something, or as information about if something that is coming up is actually safe, right? And couples that with her clear intellect and her clear intuition. So this card represents the master strategist. The master strategist is one who is really taking a look at all of the information that is showing up, both internally in the body and the emotions, as well as what's showing up in the physical. And then taking into account both of those, but prioritizing what is in alignment with the ultimate bigger goals, desires, spiritual nature, etc. Deciding what she's going to do from there. So it's actually taking into account three things: the desires, the feelings, and the physical world, the practical stuff, right? Resources that she has, what's happening in the environment, what's available in terms of people, circumstances, etc. All that grouped into outside. This message definitely resonated. I'll be adding black tourmalines for support. Awesome. Yes. Beautiful. All right. So that is our message. Please, again, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share this video. I know that this will help others, especially during this time with doing this audit. We're coming up into our summer season, and also a lot of newness. We have the North Node shifting into Aries. We will also have Venus entering a new cycle when she goes retrograde in Leo. So that will be kicking off a new stage as well. So there's a lot of newness coming in. And yeah, it's important to do this audit so that it's almost like the universe is giving a heads up that it's going to light a flame for us and give us, fuel or to push things forward. And so we're crafting and weaving the wick that the flame is going to light, the wick on the candle that will be lit. And so we want to be really intentional about what is going into the weaving of that wick, because we want to leverage the flow of essentially cardinal energy that's coming in, right? The fire, the spiritual fire, the movement forward and out, the expansion. to be supporting, again, those things that we're wishing to manifest. Focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want resonates a lot. Yeah. Even that message though, like I didn't touch on that too much because there's always a lot when we get into this topic of manifesting, and it always gets presented in a very binary way, and it's like it's not that binary. There are things we do have to pay attention to what we don't want, because that's where we have to have boundaries. That's where we have to have contingency plans. That's where we have to be clear about what we're going to do when, not if, we come across people, places, things that are not what we want. And it's disadvantageous to us to not actually focus on that at some point. It's just, it can't be the sole focus or the majority of focus. And what we tend to do is spend an inordinate amount of time on that stuff rather than what we're wanting to create. And it's going to depend on also what's going on in our life at the time and the environments that we're in, the situations that we're in, because folks who are in situations that are dangerous, that are really toxic, that are not safe or what have you, necessarily actually have to be more focused on what they don't want, because it's literally a safety, security, stability issue, right? And they don't have the privilege to focus on what they do want in the way that they can, just because the options are limited. And that's a significant portion of where their life may be sitting. Now, for a lot of us, that might not be the case, but we will cycle back in between those two states, depending again on what's going on in our life. Yeah. Anyway, always on time. Thank you. Yeah, Spirit be speaking. Anyway, I hope that resonates with folks. I hope that gives you some help and support in your journey during this time. Again, please comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. And I don't know when I will be back on next. I don't know if I'll be back on this week. We'll see. I'll make an announcement on IG. But anyway, thank you all. Love you much. And of course, if there's any questions or anything else that comes up when you rewatch this, be sure to comment. I do read comments and reply back to them. So don't feel weird or whatever. Like, I'm here. I don't have folks reading my stuff. I read it. So definitely like, share, and let us know how this message is resonating for you. But yeah, that is it for me today. Have a wonderful day and weekend. Happy Juneteenth for Black folks here in the US. Hopefully everybody has that day, Monday, off, and you are taking the day off and you're going to relax and not work, hopefully. And if you're not, chill as much as you can at work, because folks out here be wild. All right, love you. Bye. God willing, I'll see you next time.